Okay, good afternoon students. So today we will be continuing with our class, and as we were discussing about the topic name was stars and solar system. That means mostly related to universe. Okay, so as we know, or as we have talked about universe constitute various things, okay, which are in the outer spaces, which we can see or which we have what you can say discovered. And today we are going to talk about stars. So first of all, let's talk about stars. So what do you mean by star? Okay, let it be here. So stars are actually, it is a ball of gases. Okay, actually it is a ball of gases and it has light of its own. Heat and light. Heat and light of its own. That means they can emit their own light. It's not that as for example, it's not like the moon. Okay, as for example, we know that moon doesn't have its own light. It only reflects the light of the sun. Okay, that means all stars are ball of gases. It has light of its own. That means it emits light and it gives heat. Okay, it gives heat. So if you see at night, what you will see? You will see number of stars in the sky. Okay, so it's very tiny, it twinkles. That means why it is very much tiny? It looks tiny because it is very far away from us. Away from us. That means away from the earth. That's why it looks very small. But actually it is about what you can say 1,000 or big 1,000 times or more than that, bigger than the earth. Number 2, as we all know, we have sun, and sun is also a star. Okay, that's why you can say it is a glowing ball of gases. Mostly it constitute hydrogen and helium. We will know about gaseous planet and rocky planets later on when we discuss about planets. So just understand that stars mostly constitute hydrogen and helium, as in the case of sun also. Sun being the nearest star to earth, it looks big. Okay, it looks big. So if sun is the nearest star, so away from it we have another star. That means near the sun, star close to sun is Alpha Centauri. So this is also a star. This is also a, sun is also a star. Okay, so there are billion of stars in the outer space. But if you see the stars, we only can think or only can conclude that it might be very much small. Stars are very much smaller, but it is not the same. Actually they are much more bigger than the planets. Okay, but it looks small because it is far away from us. And sun is also a star which is very close to earth, and that constitutes solar system. We will talk about that thing later on. So all stars have hydrogen and helium in themselves. Okay, and this stars close to Sun is Alpha Centauri. So these are the important points that we must understand. Then suns are classified on the basis of sun or star are classified, we will write star only, classified on the basis of brightness. Then another point we have brightness, color, temperature and size. Color, temperature and size. That means the twinkling that you see at night. Okay, that means some stars are very much brighter, some stars are not that brighter, and some stars are very much dim. Okay, or we can't see it, only we will see if you have a good sight or if the sky is clear we can see, but that depends on its brightness, color, temperature also. That means it's not that all the stars are the same temperature, it can differ according to its constituent element like hydrogen and helium, and also of size. Don't think that all stars are of equal size. Stars are not of equal size. So we talked about in this case we came to know about stars, what does it constitute, and which is the nearest star. Now let's talk about its formation. So basically it is formed by hydrogen and helium by fusion or by fusion. Okay, that it's what you can say, the exchange of heat among these elements. So let's talk about constellation. So as we were talking about stars, so mostly we can see the stars at night. Okay, and we see the stars in the same pattern, means it is not changed. As for example, the polar star, which you see at certain place from your location. Okay, it's not that the next day or after 15 days it will move towards other direction. No, it is fixed at the one point, but it keeps on changing. Why it keeps on changing? Because our earth is rotating. That's why we see that the stars are also rotating. Okay, but basically what I mean to say is that we can see the different types of stars. Okay, and in that also we have used a term constellation. So what do you mean by constellation? So a group of stars forming a pattern, group of stars forming a pattern is known as constellation. That means some stars are grouped. As for example, just say the example of we have taken the example of star as Sun and Alpha Centauri. Okay, similarly say that there is an star A, star B, okay, star C, star D. So these are the names. So if they form a group like star A is here, star B is here, star C is here, star D is here, so it is forming a pattern, and this type of pattern is known as constellations. Okay, and these patterns are of imaginary patterns. Actually these are imaginary patterns. Imaginary patterns means it's not that if you look at the sky you will see the pattern of a bear, okay, as it has been mentioned in constellation. Okay, so it is an imaginary pattern, it's not real, we only have to imagine it. So constellations are mostly a group of stars forming a pattern. So in Indian terminology, that means in the Vedic literature or the Vedic term for this constellation is termed as nakshatra. 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 That means it is the same. It is same. Constellation and nakshatras are same. Only the term has been changed. The word has been changed. So in general term we use constellation, but in Indian mythology we use the term nakshatra. Okay, so we have many constellations. So till now 80 known constellations are there. 88 known constellations. Why I have written known? Why I have written here known? Known constellation. That means simply I could have said that there are 88 constellations. Okay, but the thing is that as I already told you or talked about that our universe or the space, it constitute many things. Okay, and we only are discovering it. We are not inventing it, we are discovering it. It can be that when more technologies will come in near future, it can be said that it will be more than 88, more than 95 or more than 100 also constellations. Okay, according to our equipments, the equipments by which we can see the outer space. Okay, so this was all about constellation. So in constellation we have to learn few points. As for example, all the stars in a constellation stay together. Okay, so let me write the points so that we can understand clearly. So all the stars remain in a fixed point. That means stay together. Number one, all stars stay together. Stay together means, that means in different constellation. Okay, in different constellation. That means in terms of constellation they stay together. Second one, the shape of the constellation always remain the same. Shape of constellation remains same. That means it doesn't change. It's not that today you will see the different pattern and day after tomorrow or after few days you will see the another pattern. Number 3, constellation named after the figure they are resembles. As the figures resembles. Okay, as for example, if it resembles like a human being, then it has been named according to the human being, or if it has been resembles according to animals, it has been named in that way only. So now let's have a discussion on few constellations. Okay, some constellations. So some important constellations are Ursa Major, number 1, major or great bear, also called great bear. Then second we have Ursa minor, little bear. Little bear. Then we have third Orion or the hunter. Third we have Orion, also known as hunter. So Ursa Major is the group of constellation which resembles like a bear, okay, like a bhalu, bear, okay, and Ursa Major they resembles like little bear, that means baby bear. Then Orion we have, it resembles like a hunter. Hunter means a person hunting in the wild or in the forest, okay. So we are not going to talk about one by one, so only you must remember the points, okay. So let's talk about now galaxies. What do you mean by galaxies? So we discuss about the stars and constellations. So stars are mostly heavenly bodies which have their own heat and light, and there are billion of stars in the outer space, and the nearest star to us is Sun, and nearer to Sun is Alpha Centauri, okay. And stars have definite appearance, color, temperature, size, etc. Now let's talk about galaxies. Galaxies. So what do you mean by galaxies? So a huge cluster of stars separated in space from similar other cluster is termed as galaxies. That means huge cluster of stars separated from each other is called galaxies. So in this sense, it might be confusing that can be called constellation as a galaxy? No, it's not that. Okay, constellation are only the patterns, a group of stars that can be seen from a certain point, okay. But galaxies constitute much more things, okay. Actually it is mostly of one or two stars. So termed as galaxies, so there are about 100 billion galaxies in the universe, okay. That means it is said that there are billion of galaxies in the outer space or in the universe. So most of the galaxies are either spherical or elliptical. Shape of the galaxy is mostly spherical or elliptical, So these are the shape of the galaxies. Mostly we find spherical galaxies and elliptical galaxies, okay. So the galaxies are moving away from each other, that means they are not fixed, they are moving away. Okay, they are moving away from each other, but it is very negligible. As it is very far away from us, we can't see it happens in our daily routine, in our daily routine. Okay, so our earth and the sun belong to the one galaxy, that means our home, that means our solar system, or you can write our solar system. Our solar system belongs to the galaxy named Milky Way. Milky Way galaxy. Okay, Milky Way galaxies. Okay, and these Milky Way galaxies, as I told you that in certain terms Hindu mythology is also included. So Milky Way galaxy is also known as Akash Ganga in Hindu mythology or Hindu term. Okay, or Indian name for Milky Way galaxy is Akash Ganga. Why it is termed as Akash Ganga or Milky Way? Because it appears like a milk. Appears like milk. Okay, some white from, as we can see from the telescope or the Hubble telescope or the magnified telescope for viewing the galaxies. Okay, so it is termed as Akash Ganga. So Milky Way galaxy is spherical type galaxy. Okay, so our galaxy is spherical in shape. Spherical in shape. So the name of our galaxy, if anyone asks you what is the name of our galaxy, you can simply answer Milky Way galaxy. And what is its shape? So it is spherical in shape. Okay, that means our galaxy is spherical in shape. Okay, so this was all about galaxies. So galaxies constitute our solar system, and in solar system we have, solar system means family of a sun. Okay, that means the star. So in our solar system we will talk about sun, number one, then planets. That means we have different planets. We have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. Okay, Neptune. Then Pluto as a dwarf planet or another. Then we will talk about satellites. Okay, satellites means the heavenly object or heavenly things which revolve around the planets, and planets revolve around the sun. Then we will talk about meteors. Okay, so these are all included in our solar system.